What's up, Trek Nation, and welcome back to After the Snap. It's me, Tasha Pierce, bringing you another Star Trek Picard Season 3 theory. In it, I'll take a guess at who may be helping Vadic wreak havoc on the Federation by going 1-2 way back in Star Trek history and bringing it forward to Picard. That means this video, if I'm correct, may be filled with Season 3 spoilers, so tread real carefully in these Federation streets. Now, if you're ready to take a walk down memory lane with me, let's go. Now, there are two Legacy Trek episodes that weigh heavily in this theory. The first episode that factors into this theory is Enterprise Season 1, Episode 12, Silent Enemy. Early in their voyage, the NX-01 is deploying subspace amplifiers to boost their signal back to Starfleet. When an unknown vessel advances upon them, Archer views it as an opportunity to make first contact. When the alien ship ignores his attempts, the crew laughs it off. The ship returns with an invasive scan and high-pitched squealing through the communication system, followed by them firing on the Enterprise. A third visit results in another attack, which knocks out main power and the warp drive. This occurs while Trip and Reed are working round the clock to beef up their defense systems with phase cannons. In the meantime, these creepy-looking aliens board the ship and just make themselves comfortable. They assault and probe two crewmen and are unfazed when Archer fires at them with a phaser. They leave the ship, taking out one of the nacelles on their way out. We later find out the aliens have installed a strange device in a launch bay and are using it to monitor activity on the ship. Eventually, Archer and crew get their new phase cannons online and defend themselves against the aliens' final attack. This terrifying encounter would be the last time this Enterprise was confronted by the mystery species. Exhibit B, Star Trek The Next Generation, Schisms. In the Star Trek The Next Generation episode Schisms, the crew of the Enterprise investigates a strange phenomenon that causes crew members to experience strange physical and psychological changes. Riker is the most affected, suffering from extreme sleep deprivation, a short temper, and eerily, an amputation and reattachment of his arm. Others affected by the phenomena include Worf, Geordi, and another unnamed crew member. After piecing together repressed memories using the holodeck, it becomes apparent that something is abducting and returning members of the Enterprise crew without being detected. After spotting an alien device in the cargo bay, they find a small subspace rift that threatens to tear the ship apart. They soon discover that an alien species is responsible for the strange occurrences and that they are using the crew as unwilling test subjects in some type of experiment. When Riker and Geordi investigate further, they find that the aliens have been using them to perform experiments in a subspace environment created to mimic the atmosphere aboard the Enterprise, only in a lab. The ever-growing subspace rift in the cargo bay is the aliens' attempt to replicate their own environment on the ship. The crew must find a way to stop the aliens to save the crew members before it's too late. In the end, the aliens are defeated, but not before traumatizing the crew of the Enterprise. It's more than obvious these two stories share similarities. They both feature an unknown alien species which invades the ship, installs a strange device, and performs tests on the crew. It seems like Enterprise aimed to create a prequel to Schisms with Silent Enemy, except the aliens in the TNG episode were seen communicating with one another with clicking noises. Put that tidbit in your back pocket for later. While neither species was heard from again in a Star Trek series, the Star Trek Online game used them quite well in the Turnabout mission. In the game storyline, these aliens are one and the same. They were given the name Alachi, and their story is as follows. The Alachi is a mysterious fungal-based humanoid race that operates out of bases hidden in subspace. They have mushroom-shaped heads, grayish skin, and are long and wiry. They originate from the mycelial network, and the atmosphere that suits their life form is hazardous to other humanoids, so they use a device when outside their environment. They reproduce by infecting another humanoid with spores, which transform the host body into a newborn Alachi. Like the Jem'Hadar with the Founders, they serve the Iconians as a warrior caste and are very rarely seen, preferring to use automated probes and drones against their enemies rather than send in living Alachi. Like the Borg, they increase their numbers by attacking ships and planets, kidnapping their people, and assimilating them to create more Alachi. They eventually met the Romulans and forged an alliance with the Tal Shiar. Conquering independent Romulan colonies, and harvesting the citizens. After Sayla was rescued from an alien base, New Romulus was invaded. Of course, the Iconians were pulling strings throughout the whole affair. And I know there's someone out there thinking, oh, well, Tasha, Star Trek Online isn't Star Trek canon. To that I say, they're not canon yet. This season of Picard has already canonized bits of Star Trek Online in the form of ships. I think the Ilachi and the Iconians could play into the season by being allies to Vadic. In fact, I think the masked henchman may even be Ilachi. In episode 1, we heard about a Romulan woman who was killed by her father 210 days prior to the Red Lady bombing. While I don't have any ideas about her identity, drop a comment if you do, I think that might indicate Tasha's involvement with the bombing. Now, if this turns out to be the angle, fans of the Star Trek Online game will rejoice. Having parts of their favorite pastime acknowledged in the final season of Picard is an awesome tribute to the game, its creators, and also the series. The ultimate clue that the aliens aboard the Shrike in Picard's 3rd season may be the same fellas who played Operation with Riker and Schisms comes from their mode of communication. Remember, first episode, we heard those aliens using weird clicking noises. Take that out of your back pocket now and make that comparison. Finally, I still feel as if the trust no one statement made by Beverly indicates that there is a possibility that there's a mole in their midst. If I had to make a choice, my candidate would be Riker. Way back in Schisms, he was the crew member that was most experimented on. It's possible he was made sort of a Manchurian candidate, finally activate after all these years. So let me know what you think about this theory down in the comments. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff while you're there. Turn your notifications on so you won't miss any of my Star Trek Picard content or live streams. And if you'd like to take your support even further, go ahead, hit that join button, like these fine folks. With all that being said, I've got nothing else. Thanks for hearing me out, and I'll see you in the next one. Live long and prosper. Peace.